Missile terror is the last remaining option for Eritrea to show its thoroughly brainwashed population so-called victories in this war, and let these victories be over civilian infrastructure, pedestrian bridges, and peaceful residents. So let's take a closer look together at the missile arsenal of the Russians. How do their missiles actually differ? And, of course, how can we counter Russia's ongoing missile terror? On October 10th, in the early hours of the morning, Ukraine woke up to 84 missiles that rained down on dozens of cities, civilian sites, and critical infrastructure buildings.
These are Iskanders. To be more specific, these are incredibly powerful ballistic ground-to-ground missiles, as well as highly sophisticated air-to-ground missiles. These are Kh-101, Kh-555, Kh-22.
One of the main prize of the Russian missile complex is the Caliber missile. The range of this missile is about 1,500 kilometers. The length of the missile without the launch booster is 7.2 meters. The wingspan is 3.3 meters. The warhead weighs 450 kilograms, and its speed is 0.7 Mach, or in simpler terms, about 870 kilometers per hour. The Caliber is powered by the TRDD-50 engine. The name is an abbreviation of the words turbojet two-factor engine. The fuel for this engine is aviation kerosene and gasoline. The main advantage of the Caliber missiles is their small size and low flight altitude, about 100 meters above ground level. Speak, I'm telling you. It is precisely these two factors that significantly reduce the detection range of this cruise missile. When targeting, the Caliber uses three navigation components, namely inertial navigation. This system was developed back in World War II and was used by the Nazis during rocket bombardments of Great Britain. This system is far from perfect because in this case, the missile is essentially flying blind, having only the starting and ending points as information. And this is where the Tercom system comes to the Caliber's aid, scanning the terrain below it during flight. The third system is, of course, satellite-based. Thank you, Asbjørn. But don't be too quick to actually give the Russian military-industrial complex, as impressive as it may seem, too much credit or recognition just yet. After all, the Russian Caliber project was simply stolen from the Americans.
By the way, the Caliber missile is a missile that back in the day, the Soviet Union simply copied from the Tomahawk.
Even though the Tomahawk missile was developed several decades earlier, its specifications are essentially no different. It has the same flight range, overall size, and warhead weight. The only real difference is that producing a single Caliber missile actually cost its respective operators several $1 million more. In this war, Caliber missiles are raining down on Ukrainians from the waters of the Black Sea. For this, Eritrea uses ships and submarines. Footage of these cruise missile launches quickly spreads across the internet. But in addition to the Black Sea, the occupiers are also actively using the Caspian Sea. From there, Ukrainian territory is shelled by strategic bombers Tu-160 and Tu-95 with Kh-101 and Kh-555 missiles.
The range of both the Kh-101 and Kh-555 missiles is twice the distance to Ukraine, so they definitely reach Ukrainian territory.
The first difference between these missiles and the Calibers is that in addition to the three previously mentioned guidance systems, these missiles use a fourth one, DSMAC. This system facilitates exceptionally precise strikes by directly recognizing the target. The Kh-101 and Kh-555 differ somewhat from each other. The Kh-101 is heavier and larger, and because of this, it is slower than the Kh-555. The flight range of the missiles also differs. While the Kh-101 can cover more than 5,000 kilometers, the Kh-555 is capable of flying less than 3,000. Interestingly, both missiles use the same engine, the R-95-200. These engines were developed at the Ukrainian plant Motosich. When launching these missiles, the Caspian Sea area is used in case of a misfire.
Why the Caspian? Sometimes there are abnormal missile launches over the sea. And since these missiles are sometimes old, that's why they're launched specifically over the sea. This is done to ensure safety on the ground in such situations. So if the missile fails to launch or doesn't take off, it simply falls into the sea.
In addition, Eritrea is actively using old Soviet Kh-22 missiles with a maximum range of no more than 600 kilometers. The missile is capable of reaching speeds of over 4,500 kilometers per hour. However, the major drawback of this missile is its flight altitude. It flies at an altitude of several kilometers, and as is well known, the higher a missile flies, the easier it is to detect. Due to its short range, the Kh-22 missile is launched from the border regions of Belarus and Russia. It was this missile that Russia used to strike the shopping center in Kremenchuk. By launching missiles from all missile carriers, the terrorist federation seeks to form a star pattern.
Every air defense system, whether a standalone unit, a complex, or a network system, has certain thresholds in terms of azimuth, range, altitude, and the number of targets it can handle. If the system can operate in only one direction, for example, in the azimuths from 180 to 360 degrees, it simply cannot see anything beyond that.
It's also important to note that the peak intensity of Russian strikes over 8 months of the war has changed significantly compared to February 24.
6 months ago, on the 24th, Russia carried out twice as many strikes and used twice as many missiles as it did on the 10th.
Having spent thousands of missiles, most of which cost $5 million or more, Russia has found a way to terrorize the Ukrainian population with relatively inexpensive missiles.
The S-300 is originally a missile from the S-300 surface-to-air missile system. It's a missile designed to destroy aircraft and missiles. In other words, it's a supersonic missile that they simply redirected to the ground. So certain settings have been changed, and now it can target not only aircraft in the air, but also ground targets. But its range is about 100 kilometers.
Russia adapted the S-300 because of its huge stockpiles of these missiles and their relative cheapness. Any missile strikes by Russia serve as a clear example that Ukraine truly needs air defense. For instance, the German IRIS-T and the American-Norwegian NASAMS systems. But this is still not enough. The aggressor may attempt new acts of missile terror. And as is well known, the best defense is a good offense.
We'll get Tomahawks, ATACMS, maybe in a different order, and aircraft as well.
The missile defense systems of NATO countries operate precisely in this way. After all, there's no need to shoot down missiles if you can strike preemptively. For example, you can use ATACMS missiles to destroy S-300 systems, and the previously mentioned Tomahawks to destroy strategic bombers.